Tell me when we're rolling.
3, 2.
Hi, welcome to Melaninial. I am your host, Shacura Lashay, bringing you a new video today. I'm so excited to be just moving in purpose and really just getting these conversations out there, because that is one of my love languages, to be able to converse and have conversations with people who mean a lot to me, people that I can learn from and just share and exchange wisdom with. So our two guests today are Keith Bennett, woo, and Kayla Rose Aimable Buthelezi. Period. I had to add the last name on there. But these are two amazing people who I had the honor of meeting and working with in The Lion King, the National Rafiki Tour. And we all started our journey together in 2017. Yep. Kayla was actually in the audition with me, which is crazy because I was feeling her energy and I was like, who is this little young girl? I thought she was so young. Like, literally, I thought she was like 16. I thought she was like younger than she actually was. And we just kind of had that energetic connection. And then Mr. Keith was Banzai in the show originally.
Right.
And
Incredible.
That's pretty much how we all met at the Lion King.
Right.
Yes.
But our connection, I feel like, goes far beyond the show, obviously, to just being able to relate and understand each other. Mm-hmm. So let's let the viewers know a little bit about who you are and your story and how we connected. We'll start with you, Kayla.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back.
It's been a minute since you've been on a pod.
It has actually. So I'm a little nervous. Sorry if I'm a little rusty.
It's okay. Leave it to God. Leave it to God.
Right, leave it to God. Leave it to God. Yes, my name is Kayla Rose Aimable, also known as Kayla Rose Buthelezi.
Period.
I am originally from West Palm Beach, Florida. And I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. From the age of 7 to 17, that's when I started dancing full time. And then I went to a performing arts high school, went to a conservatory in New York City, AMDA, just auditioned like crazy, traveled the world, got a couple of contracts here and there, a couple of cruise ship contracts here and there. But ultimately, my ultimate dream was The Lion King, and it always has been since I was 5 years old. I knew from the moment when I watched the movie, the animation movie, at the age of 5 years old, living in West Palm Beach, Florida in the 90s, I mean, racism was still pretty high. So, you know, I remember seeing the KKKs coming into our neighborhoods and shooting up in the air just to scare us, and dogs being let out on us when we get out of school after.
That's crazy.
Yep, after school we would have to run home because white people.
This is happening in
West Palm Beach, Florida
in the
90s.
2000s.
In the 90s.
In the 90s,
Damn, the 90s.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 90s babies. We love the 90s.
Shout out to the 90s babies. Tupac, Biggie, you know.
Okay. And somebody actually, when I cut my hair.
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
Yes.
Right.
But no, I actually recut my hair, and somebody said I look like Jada. So I was so excited.
No, seriously, it's beautiful.
Thank you. I cut my hair, and I just love Jada Pinkett. Like, when we think of Baltimore, we think of Mr. Keith, we think of Jada and Pac. Mm-hmm. And so I love that you share that part of your early childhood, how you were exposed to so much, especially pertaining to like racism and injustices that were happening in your community, and how, I guess, how did like The Lion King kind of inspire you at that moment?
Wow.
Like, I guess, explain that.
Ooh, that's a really deep one. Actually an emotional one for me, because at a really young age, I was extremely aware of my surroundings because I had to. I didn't have a choice. My mother reminding us not to open the door for anybody. My mother reminding us to come home before the streetlights come on. You know, hearing people scream in the middle of the night, and, you know, just hearing cop cars coming through our neighborhoods at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, me as a kid kind of being afraid that people would just shoot up the neighborhood and I would get hit by a stray. Like, these were real thoughts that I would have as a kid. And when I watched The Lion King, I just knew that it was possible, that there was a world out there where it was safe.
Yeah.
You know, even though sometimes there's moments where you do have to protect yourself, and that's always important. You have to stand on business when it's time to stand on business. But at the same time, I was so like open to this reality that could it be true? Like, is there a world where it is safe? Is there a world where I can look up to somebody and say, yes, that's a king, and he's going to protect us, and he's going to do all of these things? But of course, my mother being a praying warrior, a Christian, she said, no, that's God. God is the one that's protecting you. God, no matter what, give it to God. No matter what, pray to God. No matter what, it's going to happen for us. We will get out of this. You know, you don't have to cry in the middle of the night because you're scared that a bullet's going to hit you. And I just wanted to be inside of that world. I will never forget. I wanted to be inside of that. I just was like, I wish this was my neighborhood. The Pride Land was my neighborhood, you know?
Literally creating.
And I think that's when I started manifesting. That's when I realized how powerful manifestation can be. So yeah, that was a deep one, because I knew I was going to be a part of it. I just didn't know how until I started dancing, and I got to college, and I said, oh, this is real. Like, I really can do this. And that was just the ultimate dream. And I felt like all the other contracts was practice. And I reminded myself of that, you know, that all of this is just practice. It's just to keep my stamina up, you know, just to keep my head in the right direction of the Lion King. And the fact that I'm here now, 7+ years, from performing artist to swing to dance captain, like all of that was all that extra cream and cherry on top, you know, that was all God. I can say that.
If I can intervene, that was a task when we were all at was it Gibney learning the show.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Remember the first day Julie came the first day. You said we were there 5 weeks, yeah? Yeah, and they were coming at you dancers.
Yeah.
What was it? You had Aubrey, Marae, you know, Celise. You guys were always in rehearsal, but same thing with us. You know, we had John in there, and I mean, just here's the truth though. I love shit like that. You know, just
same.
The energy.
Same.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Because back in those days, you didn't mind the hard work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It was nothing.
Those days.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that, you know, yeah. 2000,
Yeah,
what was it? 2017.
17,
18, 19, 20,
So, like,
8 years. Yeah. Well, the truth is a lot has changed in 8 years. But yeah, no, I thought we were bringing the heat. It was the first presentation of the Rafiki Tour.
Yes, I definitely felt like we were bringing the heat. I mean, the cast was stellar. It was like we were going into this new chapter together. The energy, the power. For me, I was always like, the creativity is like, I always was like, I just want to collaborate and see what I can create within and amongst these people, because I knew we had, like I said, so much more to offer beyond the Lion King, even though the Lion King was the vessel of which we all came together to find each other.
No, we were throwing it down.
And I love that you mentioned like you're using your imagination as a child and staying connected to visualizing and seeing a different like outcome and possibility for yourself beyond your current circumstances, because I know a lot of us come from the city, we come from the hood, we come from the block. We've been exposed to so much within our communities, from violence to addiction to whatever, sexual assault, police brutality, just so many things that we are navigating through coming up out of West Palm Beach, then Vegas, myself, St. Louis, and Baltimore. We see what's happening in these inner city communities, and so these conversations for me are always healthy to look back to bridge that gap between people who are trying to get up out of those situations and people who have succeeded within those situations. So Mr. Keith, the one and only, the realest in the game.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about your story coming up out of Baltimore, getting into the arts, and your journey thus far?
Well, Baltimore, when I was coming up, arts was just engulfed in every aspect of my life when I was growing up. You know, we grew up in the neighborhood where I grew up. We knew Black history. We knew people that came from Baltimore that were instrumental in what you see in the presentation of theater today. Like I always tell people, my dude Robert Ferguson was the first person who I gave an idea to that I wanted to pursue this, because I had watched Stormy Weather with the Nicholas brothers and Bill Robinson and Fats Waller and Lena Horne. Watched that show, and you know, sit down with my brother, and it was like, okay, we start going to different places where I thought that I could learn to perform. I was very young, And I talked to Robert Fergus. He got me an application to go to this Towson State University to study during the summer. And it was the arts expansion program that they used to have. So they had like during the summer, you have to understand during the summers in the 70s in Baltimore, they had like Upward Bound program. They had all these programs for kids where they could learn a skill, a certain skill set during the summer,
Yeah.
which kept them active. It kept
That's the
them
part.
engaged in something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. As I got older, those programs, thank God I was in New York, they disappeared.
Diminishing.
Right. But all of a sudden, the emergence of crack and drugs comes into the community. So, you know, what they say, the idle mind is the playground for the devil.
Yes.
You can see the devastation of what happened during the 80s with young black kids.
Yeah.
Whether it's systemic, you know, that's one to sit down and try to negotiate in their own mind. But I definitely saw a change. But anyway, you know, I went out there. The schools were different then.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, your heroes were like teachers and doctors,
Yes.
postmen, and you know, seeing black
Everyday
people dressed.
people.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't like now a hero to a young kid is, you know, not taking anything from the entertainment community or rappers, but you know what I used to admire in like leadership, like teachers and everything, and social workers and stuff like that, is something that you can attain. You know, because you guys know, with what we do, the arts, it's tough.
Yes.
Auditions are tough, and then when you get out there and you go to those auditions, and you know that first audition you don't get it, that second audition, some people are like, okay, this is not, you know, so nothing else is going to work out for me. But back in those days, those are the people who inspired me. My drama teacher Cheryl Pasteur, you know, my aunt Calverta, my cousin Adrian, they drove me to my first audition. So I was totally engulfed. Young lady in the show, Martina Sykes, her uncle, Dr. Samuel Hay, out at Morgan State University. I mean, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
You know, the Irologist players. So that's where I come from.
Yeah, and I love that. That is something that me and Kayla crack up about a lot, because you are one of those mentors and figures and leaders who are always telling us to go look up somebody.
Yeah.
Go research. Go learn about our history. Go learn about this person. Go learn about the dance community. Go learn about the theater community. And so as someone who is a millennial, and sometimes we can be so focused on what's happening currently and the media and the content and the quick like information downloads, I think it's important for all of us to have somebody in our life who's going to remind us to look back and to go back and to take that information and wisdom so that we can carry it forward.
Right.
You know, for many of you guys, I know it's been a journey. We've been up, we've been down, we've been all around the globe, okay? And we still have more places to go, more people to connect with. I'm just excited for this new phase of higher level conversations, for world class talks with some of the greatest people in the world, from entertainers to some of my mentors, to some of the people that I'm just inspired to get to know more about. And so I'm excited for you guys to be on this journey with me, and I want to get you guys involved in a few questions as well.
How has the art shaped the way you view your childhood and your ability to dream? 2. What is something you visualize that has come to pass? Share your insights below and stay tuned for more Melaninial. Peace.